Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I did this video using the mannymua and Makeup Geek palette. First I'm going in with the shade Beaches and Cream on my Sigma F40 brush and going in circular motions. This shade is my transition shade. It is only about 2 or 3 shades darker than my skin tone, and it's basically just used to help make the other shades blend better. I am now taking the shade Sora from the mannymua palette and doing the exact same thing on my Sigma brush. I'm only taking a little bit of this color because it's actually very pigmented and I just want to add a little bit more pigment to my transition shade. Circular motions back and forth. The key to having a good blended eyeshadow is having a good blended transition shade. Now I am taking the shade Mars from the mannymua palette on my Sigma E35 brush and I'm blending that into my crease. This shade isn't very pigmented at all, which kind of sucks, but it's really good as a base before another red shade, and it does blend out very well. Again, circular motions, back and forth, and really you have to pack the pigment on for this one. So now I'm taking it on my MAC 217, which is a more dense brush, and blending it into my crease again. I'll keep doing this until I get the pigment that I'd like. Make sure to go back in with your original blending brush. For mine, this is Sigma E40 brush, and blend the shade over and over again in circular motions. And keep packing on the pigment and blending and packing on the pigment and blending, and eventually you will get a perfect pigmented blended eyeshadow look. I am now taking the shade Red Ochre from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette on another MAC 217 brush. This one is actually smaller than the other one. I have two and they're like a year in difference and they're completely different. Anyways, so this is an actual pigmented red and I'm packing this over top. Again, taking my Sigma E40 brush and blending it, and taking more pigment and continuing. You keep doing this until you get the desired color that you'd like. I like mine very pigmented and blown out. Also, don't worry if you get pigment on your face or down the sides like you see on mine, because you can just clean that up afterwards. That's why we're doing our eyes before we do our face. I am now taking the shade Tempera from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette and packing that underneath my brow bone. This is mostly just an eraser shade to help clean up the shadow that went up way too close to my brow bone. After I do that, I blend it out with my Sigma E40 again. I'm now taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on a flat definer brush from Sigma. I don't know the number, I'm sorry. And I am cutting my crease, only half of it though. I do this for basically every look. I know it's getting kind of redundant, but it's just my go-to look. I am now taking my MAC 242 brush and I'm spraying it with some Urban Decay setting spray. You can use water, MAC Fix Plus, whatever you have, eye drops, doesn't really matter. And I'm spraying that just to make sure the pigment of this shade comes out foiled. These foiled shadows by Makeup Geek are fantastic, but they do have a lot of fallout, so spraying the brush actually helps them stick. I am using the shade Luna from the mannymua palette. This is my favorite shade in the palette. It is amazing. As you can see, it took a couple times for me to pack it up and get it to my desired pigmentation, and that's okay. Take your time. I'm now taking a small definer brush and cleaning up my crease to make sure there's no shimmer in the crease. I'm just applying red ochre over top of the brush and using that to cut the crease even further. I'm now taking my MAC 217 brush again and just blending the edges of where the crease and lid attach. You can take more of your red ochre shade or more of your Mars shade from the Manny palette, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you blend those two together. Now I'm taking some of my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and just cleaning up the fallout that I have on my cheeks. Once I've applied that, I'm blending it in with my finger and patting it just to make sure that the line's not too sharp. I just want to make sure that everything is clean and there's no pigment left on my face. Now it's time for mascara. I'm taking my Benefit They're Real mascara and applying that to my lashes. I'm also taking my CoverGirl Clump Crusher mascara just to make sure that the eyelashes stay separated. Okay, so we're back and I quickly did my face routine off camera. If you'd like a tutorial on how I usually do my foundation, my contour, etc., leave a comment down below. I am now smoking out my lower lash line. I'm taking a mixture of Beaches and Cream and Sora and using that as a transition on my lower lash line. Sorry about the lighting here, I'm so pale that I tend to disappear. Now taking the shade Mars and also blending that on my lower lash line. I'm basically taking all the same shades I use in my crease and blending them on the lower lash line in the exact same order. If you have small eyes like I do, smoking out your lower lash line will help to make them look bigger and rounder. And lastly, taking the shade Red Ochre from my Anastasia palette, I am blending that on my lower lash line. Wow, this is a really attractive face. Someone should screenshot this and make a meme out of it. Now taking my trusty Sigma E40, I blended the edges of my shadow and I brushed away some fallout from my lower lash line. Now taking Iron Mist from the Manny palette, I am popping that on my inner corner. And also a little bit on my Cupid's bow. This shadow is very, very iridescent and it's honestly one of my favorite shades of the palette. Now applying a light coat of the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara to my lower lash lines. My lower lashes are very long, so I only put on a little bit of mascara. Now taking my ice cold highlighter from Satan himself, Jeffree Star, I hate that I like this highlighter. I really, really hate it. I'm sorry that I use these products. I'm trying my best to not use them. However, I'm using that to highlight my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow. Oh my god, sorry about that. Classic me, making so much noise and shaking it. Carefully don't get nauseated. I'm then going to be taking my Urban Decay Video Blush and applying that onto my cheeks. Blush is the perfect way to make sure that your contour and your highlights stay blended.